All right. How now, brown cow? The arsonist has oddly
Lion face,
shaped
lemon
feet.
face, lion face, lemon face.
oh, I'm recording, by the way. Okay.
Oh,
So,
okay.
hey, what's going on, everyone? My name is Jason,
My name's Jonathan.
and we're 2/3 of JCubed. Our buddy Jared is not here today. He is stuck in the multiverse, trying to finish up the rest of Batman and the Court of Owls. Hopefully, he's already done so. We don't know. He'll let us know when he gets back. But it's just going to be a two-man crew tonight, and we're just kind of winging it today. And I decided we both, really enjoy art stuff, so I figured we'll talk animation. We'll talk, cartoons that we enjoyed watching as a kid, what we're watching now, if we're watching anything now, and we'll just have a casual conversation. But
About our favorite cartoon animation.
about our favorite cartoon animations. The more you know. But something that you yourself, John, started within the second podcast that I'm officially going to title "What You Up To?" John, what you up to so far? How's it going? It's been a while.
It has. St. Patty's Day lasted a long while for those who tuned into our famous St. Patrick's Day episode.
That was a good 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, time flies.
It does.
So I've been trying to dive into more of my own animation, which is coincidental of the theme of this episode.
Yeah, I saw some of those. I saw your little YouTube video.
Yeah, man. I'm trying to put more together. It's just so hard not to leak them out before you're done. I'm always wanting to hurry up and finish.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I finish too early and I'm like, oh, I should have done that. I should have done that. So I'm trying to take my time with this next one. But yeah, I'm really trying to hone in on the animation skills while trying to finish up some bigger, larger paintings as well.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of commissions going on right now. So I'm taking a break from the already famous stuff and trying to work, a little bit of me time.
Nice, man.
Work on those skills.
Oh, no, that's awesome. I love seeing the little animations you do. I wish I need to get back into it myself. I remember back in high school, I used to do a lot of flipbook animations. I had an old, I don't remember the painting software I had, but I had an older drawing tablet that I attempted to start doing animations with for a little while. I think it was like Corsair Painter, something like that. It sounds familiar.
It was like a Clinique.
No, nothing that expensive. But I think didn't I give it to you? Or I was thinking about giving it to you.
Yeah, I remember this was an ongoing thing.
Yeah, this was a long time ago.
I was like, man, I really wanted to get into digital animation. You were like, hey, I might have this thing. I'm like, well, let me know.
Yeah, I don't know unfortunately, I don't think I have it anymore, but I did enjoy doing that kind of stuff, when I was doing the flipbook stuff. That's like rudimentary animation itself. So that's super cool. What you've done so far that I've seen on Instagram, you've thrown up on your YouTube channel. I think it was just that one clip so far, but I was like, damn, John, you're really good at this.
Wait till you see what's coming next.
Ooh, a little teaser. I like it.
Yeah, I can kind of go into it. So whoever watched the last video, if you don't know, the intro video starts out with this floating pen. It's trying to shake the ink loose, and it blops and stuff pops out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm working on a few, but the next one coming up, it's a beach. Mm-hmm. But think of a wild drone zipping through palm trees and everything and catching the barrel of a wave. That's what I'm trying to animate right now.
Oh, wow.
It's never as easy as you think it's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
I only have Procreate because, Adobe is money.
Yeah.
But what I'm able to do, I can do effectively.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully. I guess that's for the audience to decide. But should be finishing that up within the week. I'm excited.
Nice,
it's going to be cool.
Man. That is super cool.
Yeah.
Look at you being non-productive and me over here just playing video games.
Team no sleep. Team no sleep.
Myself, I haven't really been doing a whole lot. I'm trying to get our yard to look nice for the summer because we've always had patchy green brown grass, and I feel really bad that our grass looks the way it does. So I'm scared that the HOA is one day going to come up to us and say, hey, what's up with that yard? Like, bro, do something. It's like, I'm trying to do something. So I've been being more attentive with that. And then, playing Elden Ring. I'm about almost 70 hours in. I actually stopped playing about 10 minutes before this podcast started. I was like, oh crap, it's already almost 7. Whoops. So I've been doing that. And something that kind of also reminded me, or that kind of came into my head when thinking about this last minute on the go animation conversation, was a recent movie I saw on Netflix called Apollo 10.5. It's not an animated movie in the normal sense. Like, it's not hand-drawn or anything like that. I believe it's rotoscoped to look kind of animated. Did you ever see the movie A Scanner Darkly, John?
Oh, yeah.
So it's that type of style. It's actually the same director, Richard Linklater. But I love that kind of style of movie. I think it's really cool. That movie itself is like super nostalgic for the 1970s. I wasn't born in the 70s, but it has that very nostalgia feel like a lot of his movies do. I mean, Dazed and Confused, like wicked nostalgia on that. A newer one of his was Everybody Wants Some. Did you ever see that movie? It's about like 1980s like college students right before their baseball training starts for the year in Texas State. It's a really good movie. I recommend you check it out if you want to. Like, it has some really good soundtracks. And then, I
remember the preview, but I never got around to checking it.
I really, really like that. I dig that movie. And this is kind of that same type of feel, but during the space race. Kind of that nostalgia feel for, I guess, that generation. It was just a really cool movie. So that is kind of what I've been up to recently. But with that kind of, segues into the actual conversation. Animation. I love animation. I know you love animation. You were just talking about animation and what you're trying to do recently. Ooh, and I also see randomly that you have that Mondo art book behind you.
Indeed, I do.
When did you get that? Has that been there this entire time and I've never noticed?
I think.
Really?
I'm pretty sure it's been up there like for the entirety of the cube.
Whoops.
The cubisms. Cubisodes.
But I just kind of figured, we both have fairly similar interests when it comes to the things we enjoy viewing media-wise and art in general. So I guess I'll go ahead and start first, since there's just two of us. We'll just kind of go back and forth. Animation. Something that I think I think, oh gosh, I don't know what I'm trying to say here. Actually, never mind. I'll let you go first, because I clearly don't know what I'm trying to say, and I need to get my thoughts in order here.
If you're just tuning in, this is our casual conversation about our favorite animation.
Casual conversation about our favorite cartoon animations.
Yes. Man. So I love to draw. Whoever knows, whoever's been watching. If you can take it even further, your illustration passion, your painting passion, you're always going to... Anytime you're doing anything on a canvas, on a digital platform, whatever... I think for me anyway, there's always a moment where you see the image come to life.
Mm-hmm.
That's animation. That's, your pictures going into a movement, them having life, them having a personality. Like most people, I just, popped me in front of a TV when I was a kid. Oh, hey, Rugrats are on. Or Samurai Pizza Cats, Ninja Turtles. We grew up in a great time of animation, I think.
Mm-hmm.
What's that? Sorry, your mic cut out.
Oh, Samurai Pizza Cats?
Samurai Pizza Cats.
You heard it here. I have never heard it. Are you making that up, or is that something that actually you watch?
It's a real thing.
Are you serious? I have never heard it.
I'm serious.
We're not that far apart in age. I've never heard of that show before. I believe you. That was not something I watched, I guess.
I'm calling you out, John. I'm calling you out.
I mean, we're maybe only 2 years apart, 3 years tops in age, but yeah, I've never heard of that. Anyway, go on.
I mean, I wish it was my idea. I would take profit of it, no problem. But nah, I remember like watching it. God, it was like after school, maybe second, third grade, like on the WB or some Fox network. I forget what it was on, but I remember it popping on. Like it was weird, like cats in like Metroid armor, just doing random anime stuff. I mean, that's yeah. Google it or YouTube it if you want. I just remember like being addicted, like, oh my god, this is so cool. But man, some of the favorite things, let's see, Batman the Animated Series was a gem. Like some people coin it as American anime, although, American's animation's its own thing. Taking it back to like Disney, it's yeah. In my own opinion, like it was so great when everything was hand drawn. It just had its own different texture and feel versus like everything being on Flash or Adobe programs right now.
Yeah,
the crinkles on the screen you get like kind of like an old film playing. It has its own different life to it. And if anybody's ever watched Batman the Animated Series, I think like the perfect culmination of everything in the right formula. I think it's the Clayface like. I think it's like a 2 or 3 part series. Whenever he finally like just gets, I think Batman finds like the way to like truly just like pin him down. Like, hey, you're mine now. Something goes awry. He ends up like going through all of his different faces, everybody he's been trying to impersonate, and the lights, the music, the everything coming together. It's just so good.
Yeah.
And I wish animation was still like that, hand drawn. There's definitely no shortage of good things out there, but like I said, when we were kids, it's glued to the screen 24/7. It's just, and again, I'm ranting, but you can see I have like a big passion for this kind of thing.
Yeah, man. Shoot, some of the earliest stuff I remember watching as a kid was back on Adult Swim and Toonami back in the day. Like, I think where I got, my kind of love for animation, I think with a lot of people, was Dragon Ball Z back in the day. Like, I remember being in middle school, getting out of school or getting out of football practice and then going home and watching the next episode of Dragon Ball Z. That is kind of my first foray into drawing itself, trying to draw and emulate that style because I really dug that series. I remember just everything about that was such a cool thing at the time. At the time as well, I didn't really realize that was like anime, and I'm not really into I shouldn't say I'm not into anime because I do and will watch certain things, but I'm not super big into anime itself. A lot of the stuff, it just doesn't I just don't, care for it. Like all the inner monologues and stuff like that, and like them doubting themselves. I think that's kind of a big part of anime from the ones I've seen. But
battles within and the power of friendship to overcome the bad guy at the end.
But Dragon Ball Z
random running scenes in the intro
with some intros though have some really good like animation and really good music to it, so I can't knock that. But
especially the music, oh yeah.
But yeah, I think Dragon Ball Z was kind of the first like, man, this is really really cool. And then it kind of just blossomed from there into like Gundam. What else did I watch back in the day? Samurai Jack. We'll get into that a little bit later because he has another series that I absolutely adore, and I cannot wait to get the next season of that, and then kind of the stuff he's done. But yeah, that is, I think, what got me interested in animation at that time was watching Dragon Ball Z, was getting absorbed into those story arcs from Cell to Boo to Gohan going Super Saiyan. I still remember watching that episode. I remember, this is weird to say, I remember when I think Goku and Piccolo were getting beat up or something, and me and my brother were watching it, and they showed blood like coming down his nose and stuff. I was like, I remember I don't know why I remember this, but I remember, oh my God, they're showing blood on this show now. Like, because beforehand they wouldn't do anything. They weren't doing stuff like that. But this newest season, they started being a little bit more mature in that kind of way. And it was just like, oh, this is so cool. This is crazy. But yeah, that was like my first show that I really dug and really enjoyed watching, and tried catching each episode when and where I could until a certain point. Then I just kind of stopped because it's like, okay, you're just kind of overloading yourself, or just filler trying to get to the next episode, and then the whole meme about just screaming for 5 episodes until they move and stuff like that. But that is like my first real, man, this is really cool. And I think that is kind of where it stemmed from, at least for me.
What got me into Japanese anime, believe it or not, Voltron. I remember like, those memories when you're a kid and like, before you remember walking, before you remember like, going to play football at the park. Like I remember like taking like nap time with Voltron playing in the background. Like I remember one of our babysitters, what we had when we were kids, had like all the figurines from like different things you've never even heard of, because at a young age you don't have no idea what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
But I always remember him having like it was either Godzilla, new shirt, or
ooh, can I see that shirt again? Where did is that a Mondo shirt? Where did you get that?
I don't think so. I was just scrolling the interwebs, and
I like that. That's a nice shirt. My birthday's coming up soon. I'm just joking. No, please don't give me anything.
Wink, wink.
No, I'm serious. No, I'm just joking. That is a dope shirt, though. I really, really like that shirt.
Yeah, man, just scrolling the interwebs and I found it. Amazon, I'm not really sure who makes it. But again, I accidentally signed up for Amazon Prime.
Hey,
for those who don't know.
you got it for a year. Use it while you have it. I still can't believe you accidentally signed up, but it is nice. I actually just now thinking about it, the last episode, me and Jared kind of made fun of you. It was like, how can you accidentally do that? I once forgot to take off my credit card for a year, and I inadvertently accidentally bought Amazon Prime for a year, so I can't fault you anymore. Because I just thought
I
just remembered. So let's go back in time. I'll slap myself and say, don't say that to you or John. That is not true. You have done something similar in the past.
We've all been there, man.
We've all done it. But anyway.
But yeah, man, I remember like I remember being, coaxing on nap time, but Voltron would always keep me up. And I was like, what is this? This is so much different. Like, and looking like American versus Japanese animation, you'll see the different way people are drawn, the different type of emotion that the characters go through. Sure, they're tailored for different audiences and different acceptance rates for whatever they're rated for. But, when you're that age and you finally find that one outlet to like that different audience, you're like, what is this? It's like a different kind of awakening,
Yeah.
Then it branches off into so many things. And I think it's awesome to be alive at this point in time, to have access to so many different types of animations and series and movies, and then being accepted in widely accepted in different audiences too. It's awesome. I can't use that word enough. It's awesome, man.
No, it really is. And this is going to make me look bad, but I used to watch Gundam and Voltron. I always get them mixed up because they're both shows with giant robots that people get into.
Yeah.
Voltron is the one that they're robots, but they're animals, right?
One super robot.
And then they become one super robot, right? And they're like there was a green, a yellow, a blue. I remember aspects of that show. I don't remember the actual show itself though, but I remember me and my brother used to watch Voltron, and we used to watch all those Toonami shows back in the day after school as well. So like Tenchi and stuff like that.
Tenchi Muyo, and then Tenchi in Tokyo. Yeah, I remember that. Oh yeah.
So yeah, we used to watch those. But yeah, my partner, she was big into Sailor Moon, and I think we used to watch Sailor Moon as well. Uh, I don't remember like half of those, animes I used to watch. The big ones being Dragon Ball Z, some of Gundam, and something to do with Voltron.
Nice.
So, but I also, as a kid, used to watch some like older stuff. I mean, of course, Looney Tunes. That was always a big thing for myself. Saturdays, Tom and Jerry, the Animaniacs. Oh, yeah. I mean, that pop culture stuff at that time, I loved watching that.
To think that Steven Spielberg could get, his name behind Freakazoid and the Animaniacs, like, gold.
Man, Freakazoid. I haven't heard that name in so long. Weren't they trying to remake that? I still look up
clips on YouTube of that show, man. It's genius.
That's such a good show. Is it? I know they remade Animaniacs on Hulu. Were they trying to do the same with Freakazoid at one point? I could have sworn they were
rumored that they were trying.
Maybe that's what I was referring to, or maybe that's what I thought of as well. But Freakazoid was a good show. Did you ever watch Johnny Quest? Like the old Johnny Quest?
Dude, like one of the best memories of my dad worked like crazy, but one of my favorite memories was sitting on the couch with him watching Johnny Quest, me and my brother and my mom rolling her eyes in the background like, why are y'all watching this? I was like, it's awesome, Mom. And like, again, one of my favorite memories, my dad, he always had this great impression for anyone who doesn't know, for Johnny Quest, dad, bodyguard, and the two kids, they go around in a jet, go do research or whatever it is they're doing around the world. But there's one episode in particular, Turu the Terrible. And there's a part in the show where this mad scientist who's controlling this big giant pterodactyl, he says, "Kill Turu, kill!" Then you hear the big, this big gigantic pterodactyl coming through. It's so great. Again, like my dad's favorite impression was to do that skit over and over again, and even still, you can hear him like doing it.
Oh, that's cool.
But yeah, man, I love that show.
Oh man, I loved like the old Johnny Quest cartoon itself. I remember, I think we used to watch it or my dad would watch it every now and then as well. The one that I vividly remember for some reason is when they're underneath the ocean and there's a whole bunch of sharks and like something like a monster is eating sharks and it comes into this like submarine base type thing. I don't know if I'm thinking of Johnny Quest or if I'm thinking of the spoof Sea Lab 2021.
I was thinking about that.
So I could be mixing those up as well. I have no idea. But Johnny Quest, man, that was... For a while, it was on sale for like the TV series was on sale for like $20 on Amazon or $25 on Amazon. And I thought about getting the Blu-ray, but I was like, do I really want this? I kind of went back and forth.
I bought it at Walmart, but I got Batman the Animated Series instead. But,
yeah?
There's probably still time out there.
I mean, it's still on my wish list and I occasionally see that go on sale every now and then, But yeah, Johnny Quest was such a cool show. Was there one where like a giant T-Rex came back in the jungle? Wasn't that Johnny Quest or something like that? Or a dinosaur or something? Because they did some wacky stuff.
Yeah, zany. That's why I love the Venture Brothers so much. Because, it's somewhat the same style.
Mm-hmm.
It's not exactly the exact same animation, but it's the greatest parody of that show.
I got into Venture Bros for a little bit, but I never finished the series myself.
It's worth it.
I think it's on HBO, right?
Last time I checked, yeah. On the Max.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I need to get back into that because this just makes me want to watch old episodes of Johnny Quest again. Why doesn't any of the streaming services have that on there? Is Hanna-Barbera holding it close to their hearts or something?
Maybe. I don't know. Oh, God, I love Hanna-Barbera animation. And since we're just keep tailing off of this, the Angry Beavers. Do you remember like their like movie star favorite, like the guy they worship? What's his name? Oxnard Montalvo?
Yeah,
I love how they did him in the same animation style, like only his head and like his shoulders move briefly, like these big moments of dialogue.
Oh my gosh, I love Angry Beavers. That was
Oh yeah,
Angry
man.
Beavers was like maybe early high school time, maybe late middle school
Maybe
time, maybe late
I think
middle
like late
school.
middle schoolish.
Angry
Yeah.
Beavers was. Uh, they did this one joke where it was a damsel in distress and she fall and broke an ankle, and then she falls and
Halloween
breaks her.
episode,
Yeah,
yeah.
the Halloween is like my ankle, my other ankle, both my ankles.
My
And there's just giant fat bandages. Like here's the leg,
out
and
of
then
nowhere.
here's a God, that stuff is so. Angry Beavers was ahead of its time. That and Invader Zim were ahead of its times, I think, like with that kind of humor. But
Oh yeah.
yeah, oh, I can't believe I forgot about Angry Beavers. That was a really, really good show.
Never forget. Never forget.
Daggett and what? What was
Norbert.
Norbert? Yeah, there you go. Oh, I can kind of remember the theme song. Not a whole lot of it, but I remember some of it. Yes, there we. Oh man, that is a good show. I hope that comes out on Blu-ray so I can buy that. Now,
Now available on Blu-ray. No, I'm kidding. I don't know.
just a giant comet of Angry Beavers. Here you go. One for you. One for you. We're giving these away.
We can't get rid of them soon enough. Come on down.
What is another? Okay, so we talked about like early childhood. I guess we'll just kind of go throughout, our youthfulness to current time, our favorite shows. Something else I really, really enjoyed watching as a kid or as a young adult, high school, was Samurai Jack. And
That is well, I say it's underrated, but I think a lot of people have come around to it. Like the beauty in its simplicity is great.
I think that was the first cartoon I saw where there wasn't the outline. Like everything was painted just to where it needed to be, to kind of differentiate itself. I remember
Hmm.
the first episode. I actually rewatched that episode maybe 3-4 months back, and it is still such a good episode. And the creator behind it, Gennady Tartakovsky, I think that's how you pronounce his name.
I'm gonna butcher it either way. I'll go with it.
But he did something really unique, I think, at the time. And that entire first episode, actually, I think the entire show itself has, no, not true. The first episode itself is almost nearly dialogue free. And that is something that I think, you're a good storyteller. You have something special when you can tell a story without spewing that exposition out to you. And the animation for that, just the colors, the sounds, what Samurai Jack was doing, was something I'd never seen at the time. And it was something that I was like, wow, this is like something different. I remember
Yeah.
seeing the trailers for that before it was coming out. Phil Lamar, Samurai Jack voice, is fantastic as Samurai Jack. The theme song to that is such an early 2000s type of show. Like the style itself, kind of the jokes and just how it was, the atmosphere of kind of the stuff at the time it's encapsulated within that show, I think. But my gosh, that first episode is just, it still holds up. It is still a fantastic show. And actually, I haven't finished the show. I need to finish it. I know they came out the most recent season a couple years ago. But that show was like a really cool turning point for, I was like, wow, this can be like art. This isn't just cartoony type stuff. This can be a little bit more mature in its themes and what it's trying to get across, and the style.
Yeah. Man, I mean, yeah, like it set its own bar. Like usually there's something that comes along that sets the bar for anything else, but it was its own universe. It's the only thing within its own realm, its own style. It was literally its own show, and that's all it had to prove. Like
Mm-hmm.
nothing really compares to it all. You know?
Yeah, and also around that time, Samurai Jack was a big one. Hey Arnold, that was one I always watched. That was a good
Dude,
show.
I was not near enough mature to appreciate some of the things in that show. Like
Oh,
they go
really?
out for like shawarma, and they're how old? Like they go out for like kebabs and like Mediterranean food and Turkish food and
Mm-hmm.
different things. Like these kids, they're just some cultured kids, man. Who's writing the show?
You know, the one episode I remember most about Hey Arnold is the one they did about that ghost train conductor. Do you remember
Yeah.
that? That one freaked me
Um,
out as a kid as well. I remember that episode. And going off on another tangent, the Animaniacs one with that were rabbit or that the jackrabbit
Could be possible. I
jackalope.
haven't seen that one.
It was,
It might be.
but those two kind of scared me as kids. I remember that much.
Yeah.
But yeah, Hey Arnold was such a classic show as well, and had some. I need to go back and rewatch that too.
We actually started. Well, we finished it. We started rewatching it like a while back,
Oh, really?
and that's when I had this revelation. Was like again the writing. It takes place in like New York, or like a New York-ish type of, if not New York in the literal sense. But growing up in suburb Texas, you just don't get that kind of exposure like you do in Hey Arnold's universe.
Yeah.
Oh man, now I can appreciate what they were doing and how they were going about it and the camaraderie they had. Pretty cool. But just to spin off, and again, on our theme of spinning off on different things. Okay, back to like one of the earliest animations that we ever saw. Influences, and we can throw out all the Marvel things in there too, like the X-Men, which had like a defying soundtrack, Spider-Man, all that. The one I think that freaked me out the most, and again, I was a kid when I saw this. Have you ever seen Watership Down?
I've never seen the full. I've read the book. I've never seen the actual movie. I hear it's. I think I've heard it's pretty intense. Like for supposedly a kids movie, it's pretty graphic. From the few clips I have seen of it, and that animation is smooth though. Like that is some smooth stuff they got going on in that. But yeah,
the production was on point. The illustrations were on point. But as a child, like I remember my mom handing us the VHS. I'm like, oh look, bunny rabbits, you'll enjoy this. Oh, okay. I like to draw.
See dogs just
and then like you see the carnage. I'm like, then my mom walks into the room. What is this? What are you doing? Watch this. You got it for me. I didn't get you this. And then she looks at the camera like, and she rushes out of the room and gets rid of it.
yeah. I've
It's like
never
you did this to me.
Surprisingly enough, that is a movie that is on the Criterion Collection Blu-ray list that I would like to have and own. But yeah, I've seen clips. I've seen a clip of like a hound dog or rabid rabbits attacking and killing other rabbits. Like, oh my gosh. I mean, I'm in my 30s.
Man.
Like, Jesus, this is so intense.
It's a good story, don't get me wrong. It's just, I don't think it was fit for my age.
At that time?
Hey, yeah, we are who we are, right?
Yeah. Did you ever used to watch the Powerpuff Girls? The original Powerpuff Girls?
Yeah, man. Oh, yeah.
Sugar Spice and everything nice.
And everything nice.
Him, Mojo Jojo. Man, that was a good show.
Wasn't him like the devilish kind of guy?
It was a devil
thing?
It was a devil thing. Yeah, that was...
Yeah.
That's another. I think that's also a Gennady Tartakovsky. I'm going to figure out how, because I'm going to reference him a couple more times in this podcast. And I need to figure out.
I heard a rumor way back when that Johnny Bravo, Dexter's Lab, what was it? The Powerpuff Girls, Ed, Edd and Eddie. Like apparently the ideas like just started like randomly in like some college dorm room, and like apparently the fruition level to all of these stories like just came to be. Like it's not often you find that many ideas that just work and get a TV show out of them.
I know Seth MacFarlane worked on Johnny Bravo. I used to watch Johnny Bravo as a kid. Yeah, I think that was like his first foray into. I don't know what he did exactly with Johnny Bravo, but I think he wrote for or did like storyboarding for Johnny Bravo when that was on. That was a fun show. I enjoyed that. If I were to, I don't know if you could make a show like that now. It was kind of very. Johnny Bravo was a creepy dude.
Yeah,
he was a creepy dude. Thinking about it now, I was like, that's stuff that wouldn't fly. That's not cool, Johnny Bravo. But Ed, and
no
Eddie.
Means no.
Yeah, no joke. Ed, and Eddie. That was me and my brother loved Ed, and Eddie. That was such a good
we were hooked.
show. What was it? Ed, Double D, and then Eddie. I think Eddie was our favorite, which was that was a fun show as well.
Yeah, one of my favorites, and I loved it because it was on Friday night, and I love till this day, if it's raining outside, I'm like, oh, I got to put a scary movie on.
Mm-hmm.
Friday nights, if you're just sitting at home, one of my favorite things to do was turn on Courage the Cowardly Dog, because it was like a campfire story every time.
Yeah,
you get,
it was.
That scary vibe to it. Yeah.
Return the slab, or suffer my curse. That was. I watched that episode maybe 4 or 5 months back as well. I was like, oh man, this is a good show. Eustace Baggs, he was a dick.
Baggs.
He was so mean. He was such a mean person to Courage, and Muriel was just trying to be like the loving wife and mom
Saving
to
grace,
Courage. Yeah. What's your offer? Oh man, that is a classic show.
You say that line, I have the screenshot in my head of him like, "What's your offer?"
That's a good one. Recently,
no solicitors.
Yeah. So going back into anime stuff, some stuff that I've watched and I'm trying to rewatch again. That is more on the Eastern anime. Demon Slayer. Have you seen Demon Slayer? It's on Netflix.
Not. I've heard many things about Demon Slayer.
Dude, the animation in that is so smooth and so crisp. I don't know who's the studio behind Demon Slayer, but that show is awesome. Did you end up watching the Star Wars kind of story? I don't remember if it was called Star Wars Stories, but it was the 8 mini episodes that Star Wars put
on Disney Plus.
On Disney Plus, yeah. Did you watch that?
Yeah, that was some good stuff on there.
Oh man,
it was amazing.
Some of those episodes, like the one that was kind of Akira Kurosawa-esque, black and white Western, feudal Japan type Star Wars episode. Shogun. Yeah. That one, dude. When that dude is pulling out his lightsaber and the camera is panning with the lightsaber coming out of the sheath, I love that shot so much. Like, I've never seen a shot where you're essentially getting like that. I don't know what it's called, but the motion of him pulling out the lightsaber and just elongating the screen. His hand just showing the. Oh man, it was such a cool shot, and I still think of still think about that shot, and now I want to go back and rewatch that episode because that is such a cool idea. I wish Star Wars did stuff in that time or in that style, or they just gave someone else the rights. Don't give it to let Disney have it, but let Disney push that onto actual studios and not just, go through Kathleen Kennedy every single time they want to do something Star Warsy.
Yeah, no kidding.
I want a new voice for Star Wars, and I want it in an animation because, oh my gosh, how cool would that be? It's like the Animatrix. What we're talking about, if y'all haven't seen it, Disney Plus had a Star Wars series on that was all done by different animation studios in like little 10 to 20 minute episodes. And all different non-canon stories or canon stories. I don't really know. But they're all
know either.
Different takes on within the Star Wars universe. It is really cool. really shows that Star Wars can, not be just about the Skywalkers, essentially. And it can really have some really cool stories. So I highly recommend y'all check it out if you happen to have Disney Plus. It was such a cool thing. I wish they did more stuff like that as well. Okay, that is my Star Wars.
I mean, hopefully we get more than that.
I feel like we always end up on Star Wars some way or the other on these podcasts.
It's
like
such a big universe.
It always comes back into Star Wars needs to change. But besides,
that reminds me just to trail off. I got a new mouse.
Oh wow, cool!
Isn't that cool?
But yeah, no, that is...
Dude, you mentioned the Animatrix. I rewatched that. I got more chills down my spine than I did when I was a kid watching that.
The only one I remember is the one with the gravity. Like those kids find that gravity like well or something that's just hanging out in an abandoned building. And the only thing I remember from that is when the kid throws that bottle onto the ground and it shatters and just stops. Because I really love like that shot as well. Just, boom, glass, explode, stop. Does it go back together and reverse itself, or does it just stop mid? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I forget. That's when you've been watching too many things. I forget if it just like warps into its own thing or it goes back to him. But I mean, either way, again, there wasn't a single thing on that series that didn't make you be like, wow, how did they do that? How did they do that? It just makes you want to learn.
Yeah.
For me, anyway.
No, that was also another really cool... I think that was the first time I'd seen any kind of animation type thing heavily influenced within the same world as the source material it came from. I think, was the Animatrix the first ones to do something like that?
I don't want to rope back to Star Wars, but they did have...
Did Star Wars have?
We're not talking about Star Wars this time. But I remember like Boba Fett. Again, to go back to our Boba Fett, he had his own there was a quick animation thing going on with him.
Really?
That's very vague, but yeah, they did do early animation with Star Wars. It was really well done. Mm-hmm. But we're not gonna talk about that.
No, we're not talking Star Wars this episode. No Star Wars.
And dude.
Anyway, in Star Wars, did you know?
Did you know? Now, what are my bucket list items? And if someone does this that has better production tools than I have, that has, better production tools than I have, one of my bucket list items is to either illustrate or animate Jurassic Park, from the book, not the movie, but by the book. If you haven't read it, it's
oh my goodness,
it's a great story.
That would be hard.
How cool would that be?
That would be super dope, but that would be also. Oh man, I'm trying to think.
Intense.
Like the first, chapter is them in the jungle, rushing, starting in that vet, and then just someone busting into it and saying, "Doc, this guy, he's hurt or something." And oh man, how would?
It's all up here, man. It's all up here. I've got it all planned.
Dude, that would be really cool.
But it's weird how no one's ever done it before, or at least not that I know.
Maybe because it's more Steven or Universal property, and they don't want to give the rights out to that animation. Because the only thing I've seen from the Jurassic Park kind of, I guess, series or property is that Camp Cretaceous that is on Netflix, which.
A good one. You got me
I really love that. That is totally a kid's show. 100%. You should be. It's meant for kids age 10 to 13. I feel maybe 8 to 13.
I've got a puppy that counts, right?
But that show is Jurassic Park through and through. It is. Oh man, did you end up finishing the newest season? Yourself?
Not the newest season, no. I'm still way behind.
I binge watched it within a weekend, maybe 2 nights, maybe a single night actually.
Yes. Yes.
But oh man,
I love it because you get your dino fix in between the movies.
Yeah, no joke, dude. Speaking of which, this summer, a couple more months. I'm expecting it to be stupid and dumb. Like, it's not going to make sense. It shouldn't make sense because, don't get me wrong, I took you to see, what was the second one called? Jurassic World, Kingdom Come?
Fallen Kingdom.
Fallen Kingdom.
We went to the midnight premiere.
We went to the midnight premiere. You had to do some work stuff, so you're bouncing in and out. I actually see the book I bought you that is behind you as well from
yes,
Mondo.
You do, right behind the mic.
But don't get me wrong, I love the Jurassic Park series. That last movie didn't make sense. Like, why would a kid just let out dinosaurs because she felt bad? Like, why screw the entire world because you felt bad?
She had a heart.
She had a heart, but they're dinosaurs.
Love and friendship.
Dinosaurs don't have hearts. They're lizards. They're not lizards, but you know what I mean. They're cold-blooded animals. Oh, are they cold-blooded animals?
It's theorized that they're warm-blooded.
Warm-blooded. Okay, they're warm-blooded animals that don't have thoughts. They're there to eat, and that's it. And we see in this one. I keep hitting my mic. I'm getting a little too passionate about this. This is about animation. We're not going on a Jurassic Park tangent. That can be its episode on its own.
And we're not talking about Star Wars.
We're not talking about Star Wars. Anyway, I got the new Star Wars game. It's really good.
Let me tell you.
But yeah, dude. Going off on that animation for Jurassic Park, you know, it'd be a really good one. That even I know they made a movie and it's also a book, but I think they can do really cool with Annihilation. I think that would be a trippy animation. Like that would work so that would be so well. Cool to see. Oh, I don't know. I wish I knew more animation studios because I follow a couple like smaller studios on Twitter. One of them is called Studio Grackle, who did the trailer cinematic for Hades, which is, if you haven't seen that yet, I recommend you watch that. But they also did a newer little animation for a show coming out based off a game called Hyper Light Drifter. And dude, that animation looks sick. Like what they did. That is all I really know them for. There's another studio I follow that did all the animation for the newest Castlevania Netflix series that's based here in town as well. And I don't remember their name. Powerhouse Studios or something like that, but they're based here in town.
Rooster Teeth is in Austin, right?
Yeah, Rooster Teeth is in Austin. Another artist I follow, Eddie Nunez, he's based out in Round Rock. I love his art style too. I think he helped do stuff for He-Man, the newest iteration of He-Man that's on was it Netflix? I don't remember. I have to look into that. But Eddie Nunez, I love his style. But I think Annihilation would work so well as an animated series. I don't know how they would how it could work, but dude, if the movie was as trippy as it was, think what you can do with animation where anything can go, right?
Dude. Oh man, that would be epic. If anyone's listening, make it happen.
Yeah, I don't know anything about producing, but I can be the producer. I have like $100. That will work, right? That's all you need as a producer, Done. Just a little bit of money. Here's $100.
And a lot of heart. A little money and a lot of heart.
But that would be super cool to see. And then something that I was really excited to watch but was never able to at the time, and then I finally just bought the series, is Primal. And
we tapped on that before.
We've talked about Primal a little bit on this podcast, not super in depth, but again, that is another Gennady Tartakovsky property. And the basic premise is for Primal is a caveman loses his family to an attack, and a T-Rex loses its family to an attack. And they somehow become two a two-person team, I guess is the best way to describe it. So in this world, cavemen and dinosaurs coexist with mammoths and everything in between in a prehistoric primal world. The show itself, what I really, really love about it, not only does it have dinosaurs, but it is completely dialogue free. The only thing that you see is the action on screen. Are the main character, the caveman, he will, make screaming type noises. That is it. And then it's just all soundtrack. Like audio is just whatever song they have playing at the time. It is such a cool show. Like I almost binge watched that again completely a couple weeks back. Like I love that series so much. It is a very violent series. So if you're kind of, even though it's animated, there's still some things that like made me scream or squirm just a tad with some of the,
you feel it.
How the animation, yeah, you feel it. It's that kind of chunky, like, oh God, that looked like that hurt. But oh my gosh, it is such a fantastic show. It is completely unique in what it is doing. I've never seen anything else like that. And what are your thoughts on it?
Just like you said, man, or like I said earlier, it doesn't need dialogue. No. What it does, it has the right flow. They deal with the atmosphere, with the music, with the ambient noise, with like just footsteps, running water. Nature is doing its own thing, like it's always done.
Mm-hmm.
Only it's animated now. Instead of watching National Geographic, it's just the primal earth coming to life. And again, you don't need any dialogue. A lot of things like you don't need, you can get by. And this is a perfect example of what you don't need, but it works, and it works so well.
It
and
does.
Even like when you're reading the comic book itself, like it carries the same way. Like you don't need dialogue. The images put its own noise in your ears and your mind.
Are you talking about? Are you saying Prime was a comic as well? Or are you just saying
graphic novel?
Is it really? Oh,
I'm pretty sure. Hold on. I'm pretty sure.
Because if it is, I'm totally gonna buy that after this podcast is over. That'll be my early birthday gift to myself. If it is, I thought it was just a TV show. But funny enough, and I think we're going to have to break our cardinal rule for this episode, Gennady Tartakovsky, he also created a Star Wars mini-series that was animated as well. And that I think takes place between episode 2 and 3 of the prequels. It's somewhere in that time frame because Anakin is still Obi-Wan's kind of Padawan, right? Did you ever watch that series? It's on Disney Plus as well, in 2 episodes or 2 separate hour and a half episodes. That kind of combines them into 2 little movies. But did you ever watch that one?
Here's the thing. I was spacing out.
Uh-oh.
No, I was spacing out looking for like what may have inspired Primal, Age of Reptiles. So I didn't actually hear the series.
Ooh, okay. No, I actually own that series. I think I let you came over to the house and you should check out this series. And it was Age of Reptiles.
That's the one.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
They actually, another comic that is kind of in the same vein as Age of Reptiles, it's called Cretaceous. It's about a mama T-Rex that is, or baby T-Rex that is on its own or gets, its family gets killed and has to learn how to survive. And it is all done through just images. Like, of course, it's a T-Rex, so you're not going to have dialogue in that. But there's no, world building kind of synopsis and anything. It's just all picture over picture over picture about this T-Rex's kind of come to learning how to live on its own. It's a really good series. I recommend that as well. It's called Cretaceous.
Coming of age story.
A coming of age T-Rex story.
Something we all need.
Just like that Whoopi Goldberg dinosaur cop movie. But it's just a single T-Rex. That's a real thing. I'm not joking. That's a real movie. I think it had Paul Walker in it for a little bit, but it's like Tina and the T-Rex or something like that. I don't remember. But it is a real thing, I promise.
So, spinning on another animated series that we're all aware of, The Simpsons. There's an episode where Bart's principal... Yeah. So, Principal Skinner, he's like sacked for some reason. I forget why, but Bart meets him at the Quickie Mart. And he's like, well, I've figured I'd rediscover my love for writing. I've got one. This futuristic theme park full of, genetically modified dinosaurs like goes awry. I call it Billy and the something Saurus or something. And then Apu, he's like, what were you thinking, man? This is the best-selling novel. Da, 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 da. Just like the rant he gives him is so epic.
Oh man, Simpsons is all. I love their Treehouse of Horror episodes, especially the one where Homer gets gets thrown into that 3D kind of just geometric world, and then gets thrown into real world. That is my favorite. And then the one that I always remember is the April Fool's joke where Bart shakes up one of his Homer's Duffy beers. When he goes to open it, you just hear Bart say April Fool, and just a giant explosion outside of the house. That is probably one of my favorite episodes.
Dude, the early seasons were so good. One of my favorite ones, or one of my favorite segments, Homer's like reading like the newspaper, and he comes over like the free section, and he finds like free trampoline, and he can't get out the words. And he's like, "Hajabadi, bababali," and he runs out the door. And Marge is like, "Remember, no more used mattresses," or something like that. And he's like hauling down the street in this car, who's probably not going to get the trampoline. It's just backing up out of his driveway. And he's like, "No, you don't. That trampoline is mine." He just takes him out. Flips the car.
Yeah, no, early Simpsons was really good. Shoot, I had another one. Something that I've seen like pop up on Instagram or TikTok or Twitter is, I think it was another Treehouse of Horrors where Bart is scared, and then Homer comes in with a hockey mask and with a chainsaw. I was like, "Hey Bart, want to see my new chainsaw?" And or when he comes in with the knife, like right before that as well. Oh man.
You want a brownie before you go to bed?
What was the Simpsons episode where Homer gets a new job with like Rex something? He's just an evil mastermind, a CEO.
Some witty James Bond villain come to
God. You know what was another show? Speaking of older shows, did you ever watch the Godzilla animated, like the 2000s Godzilla movie? It had its own cartoon. Did you watch that show?
Yeah, and then Men in Black had one. I think by the
same creators.
I'm pretty sure
right?
It was the same studio too. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that as well.
And for what it was, I liked the movie, even though it had its inaccuracies, its huge inaccuracies. But the fact that I got Godzilla on the film on the big screen, I was like, I'll take it.
I remember going to the theaters and watching that Godzilla movie. I remember getting super sad when Godzilla died at the end. I remember the teaser about the baby Godzillas that never went anywhere.
Yep.
Thinking about it now, that wasn't a good Godzilla movie.
No.
It was the first time I remember the Godzilla looking like, oh wow, this isn't the Godzilla with just a giant rubber suit, kind of stiff looking Godzilla. But I also remember, I feel like the Godzilla was never the same size in like certain scenes. Like, wasn't there a scene where they're underground and they're going through a tunnel, and then an eye opens up and it's Godzilla's eye, and then it goes away?
Yep.
Godzilla was no way that big, right? Like,
nope.
Like, here's a person this big. This is Godzilla's eye. Like, here's a person. Okay, here's my mic, right? My pinky nail is the person, and this is Godzilla's eye. But that is not as big as Godzilla was in other scenes as well. Like
And especially at the ending scene where he finally dies, you see him against Matthew Broderick, and nowhere near that size. Like, what happened, guys? Maybe it was more than one Godzilla. Who knows?
Anyway,
It wasn't.
I remember.
But we're not talking about that.
We're not talking about Star Wars. No. Speaking, going back to all of this to go back to anime, we went on a random tangent there. Another anime
as we do here
usually that I really, really enjoyed. Haven't finished it yet, but was My Hero Academia. Did you ever watch that? Have you watched any of that?
I never finished it. Man, I used to love, like, my tradition back when I lived out east. Again, in my injured days, when I got into a car wreck, I would go get some of those cheap tacos from Jack in the Box and soda or something, gigantic. I would go back to my apartment and turn on Toonami, and yeah, it was Tokyo Ghoul, Dragon Ball Z, My Hero Academia. What's the guy's name? His Bizarre Adventures. I can't remember the name right now.
Bizarre Adventures.
JoJo. Yes, the zaniness of that show is amazing.
I've heard about that
My
show.
Hero Academia.
So yeah, no, I really like, dude, the way they throw around the weight in My Hero, and just showing the exertion, showing the speed, the force in some of those animations is like, oh, so good. The first time the main kid, whoever the green haired, is it Deku? Is that his name?
I'd have to Google.
Yeah, I don't remember who it is, but like he punches a monster like just square in the face, and just the motion that is shown in within that scene is so good. Like, just it's such a good show. And then One Punch Man. Did you ever watch that?
Did you see the final fight?
For season 1? I haven't seen season 2 if there's a season 2 yet.
The one-eyed dude who's like a play on Goku?
Maybe.
Well, if you haven't seen it yet, YouTube it.
No, wait, is it season 1? Because I've seen all of
Pretty sure it's season 1.
I've seen all of season 1 on Netflix, because that is the only one that is on Netflix at the moment. Like, are they fighting above a ship or on top of a ship or something?
Yeah.
Okay, then yes, I have. I think.
Yeah, his armor gets broken. It was like, you've unleashed my full potential.
Yes.
Supposed to like block me back. And when you talk about like throwing weight around, whenever like in the last stages of their fight, and they're just going just like at the speed of whatever, the way that they capture the force that's behind them and like the whiplash, the wind, the sound barriers that they're breaking, it's so cool. That the music that accompanies it too, you're just like, God.
Dude, I've seen that series a couple times now. I think that was like the first newer anime that I ended up watching, because it was on Netflix, and that kind of broadened my horizon when it comes to anime in general, with some of the newer stuff. But that was a solid show. I hear the second season isn't as good, but until it comes to Netflix,
I haven't tapped into it yet.
Yeah, same here. I don't know how I'll be able to watch it. But yeah, other than that, shoot. What else was it? I was going to mention something else. Oh, one that I ended up, watching on Netflix because of another YouTube show we watch called Drawfee. They've been talking about this sports anime called Haikyuu. It's about a volleyball team, a high school boys volleyball team. Dude, the first couple seasons are on Netflix. I highly recommend you watch it. I watched it on a whim one night, and I was immediately hooked. The animation is solid. Like, it is a really good story. I actually ended up getting one of my coworkers to watch it on their end, and she was texting me, or she'd come into work the next day, and we would just talk about, the episode she watched, or, just what we liked about it. Because of that show, I ended up getting the free Crunchyroll free trial to finish off that series, because I couldn't find it anywhere else. It is It is a fantastic series that I was like, I did not think I would get so involved with that series as much as I did, or be so absorbed into these this story that they're trying to tell. It's really good. It's all about volleyball.
Nice. Dude, to relate to series that we didn't see ourselves getting into, and one that I and many people who never actually saw the last episode, I don't know if you ever heard of Inuyasha, but dude, I got really into it. Like, this girl's sucked into this different world, and she has to find a way back, and there's these crystals that she has to, like, find in order to, solve the series, but for some reason I could never find the last episode of it, and apparently I'm not the only one who never saw it till the end. Although there are people who did, but I found more people who couldn't for some odd reason. That and dude, Attack on Titan. Have you ever watched it?
Man, I tried watching that show, and that is where my gripe with animes comes in. One of the characters, I don't remember who it is, it's like the blonde kid that doesn't have any confidence whatsoever, and he always does inner monologues about why he's a failure. That got me so much. Like, you're so annoying. You can do this. Just hit the guy. Just do it. Me and my partner, we both had to stop watching it, and I will not watch it because I cannot get through that stuff. It looks really interesting.
One of the first episodes, he's like, it's not Aaron. I forget his name, but he's being dangled. He's talking on like a rooftop, and he's just talking in his own head. And then the next thing you know, the next scene is him being and he's still talking. It's like, do something, man. What's the matter?
No, that is exactly why we stopped watching, because this kid just I can't explain why he annoys me so much, but he annoys me that I can't watch that series.
And he kept making it through, no matter how scared stiff he was. He's the ringer.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I tried though. But yeah, shoot, man. We could talk all, we've already been going our usual time for this. I don't know what you have going on the rest of the day. I know you, before this, were a little busy with wanting to do some more painting stuff, dog stuff. So, yeah. But yeah, anything you would recommend me try and watch?
There's so much good stuff out there. To recap, like early animation in the 90s, like late 80s, I think game-changing stuff. Right before everything went into Flash, the computer stuff.
What I think is some of the best animation that I have seen is Akira.
Yeah?
Yeah. Dude.
I was right. Hey.
Yeah, you were right. No, it's Akira. The detail.
That's credited to bringing anime to the United States.
Yeah, I think
that was a lot
is.
Of people's first intro.
I guess, really anything Miyazaki, Studio Ghibli, like they have top-notch stuff. We didn't even talk about...
The heartstrings, man.
Oh, we didn't even talk about Studio Ghibli stuff. Oh, no.
We could.
I actually haven't seen everything. I've only seen a few movies from them so far, but Akira, that I saw that for the first time maybe a couple years ago, a year or so, 2 years ago, I think. And I'd seen a bunch of clips from it. I think one of the main clips that made me, I really need to check this out, is when our main character is stopping on his bike, and it's just a full, shot overhead of him just stopping with his leg out, and you just seeing his leg, and like just all these tiny details come by. And I was like, oh, okay, I really need to check this out. And then actually seeing the movie, and to realize this movie was made in the 80s, and this looks like this just came out a couple years ago, is testament to to the artists that worked on the movie itself, and just the fine details within.
Extremely fine details that go into that movie are
oh my god,
mind-blowing.
It is insane.
The hours it took to put that on one page after the other after the other, and
Dude,
then color it after the other after the other. It's amazing.
I can't even imagine how painstakingly long that must have taken. Like just that one scene itself. Who knows? That could have been like 150 plus frames that they were animating in that. And that is not even including this tiny details. That is like one movie that I cannot wait to buy. I'm waiting for it to, come down in price or get a good deal on it, but that is my absolute favorite animation that I've seen out of anything I've seen, from young age to now. And I'm glad I saw that movie when I was older than if I were younger, because I don't think I would have appreciated as much as I do now that I enjoy that type of animation. I enjoy the art itself, and that is just like, here is Akira. Studio Ghibli is going to be right below, but this is still the creme de la creme. This is like what I wish, if Jurassic Park was done in the same type of
One
same
day.
attention to detail. Dude, that would be cool.
I'm just saying.
You know what? We didn't really talk too much Star Wars today, so that's always good.
We didn't have to, and we won't. We will not.
We won't talk Star. We'll try not to. We'll have to make that a rule before we start recording these. Try not to dive into Star Wars, but yeah, Akira. Again, sorry, I just wanted to bring that up because I was
by all
going
means.
to bring
It's
that
an amazing
up at some point.
It's an amazing movie, man.
I love
That
your
and also,
popcorn. Your popcorn homage to that. That was really good too.
Yeah, if anyone wants to check that out, I did a little time lapse on my YouTube channel of that one coming together. I still get like message about, oh, this is so cool. I loved it. Yeah, it's just a great film. Like, and I always tell people, like, it's not just watching cartoons. Like, yeah, sure, call them what you want. They are cartoons, anime, what have you. But it's also it's like music to me. One of my favorite bands, Gojira, if you've never heard them, heavy. And to some people, you get the comments, oh, I can't even understand what he's saying. Well, think about what the band's doing. Think about the technicality that drummer has to do to hit these notes. Listen to the guitar. Animation for me is like that. Think about what went into these lines. How many people came together to get it done? The soundboards, the motion boards, the trials and errors they had to go through in order to get this done and on the screen. The idea it had to go through. For me, I always take that into account anytime I'm watching anything like that. Anything. So that's what it carries for me. Sure, it's entertaining, but also it's always in my head, like, how did they do it? What transition are they using? What technique are they doing? What software are they using? Who's behind this? Whose brainchild was this? It's that can of worms you tap into that you just can't get out of. And I love it. And to go back to your question of, anything worth checking out, dive into as much as you can. What I love to do. So I found out that anime openings to anything are a thing. Some of my favorites are, if you YouTube them, the Game of Thrones anime opening. I don't know who's doing, who's coming up with these things, but they're amazing, and the music is so great too. And also, Bat Metal is another one of my favorites as well.
I remember Bat Metal. Is that the one you showed me when we were at Jared's party downtown that one year? And you're like, dude, check out this anime.
It may have been.
Like, it's just a punk or a metal band and just animated to Batman. That is some like crisp animation as well.
And it's a funny paradox because it's an animated music video with Batman covering an animated band's music, Death Clock.
Is that Death Clock stuff?
Yeah, another Adult Swim gem. Death Clock's music is featured.
Metal
is what they're covering.
Yeah, man. That is a good one. That's another man. All those weird Adult Swim animations like C-Lab 2021, Aqua Teen Hunger Force, Metalocalypse. What was another one we watched? Oh gosh, Space Ghost Coast to Coast, The Brack Show.
Oh yeah.
That was a
I forgot
weird.
about Brett.
That was a weird time for cartoon type shows.
Those were experimental times, man.
So
Good
yeah.
stuff.
What do I have any recommendations for you? You're the artist of the three of us, so I feel like
I'll keep spitting them out if I have to.
no. I do recommend you look up the Hades Studio Grackle trailer. Is for the video game Hades, and the one they did for
Okay.
Hyperloud Drifter. Did you ever watch the Castlevania show on Netflix?
I kept getting recommended it, but life.
Mm-hmm.
I could never not commit, but I never had the time and convenience
Oh,
to sit. To
I
get
would
to it.
recommend you watch it. The last season they did had some really, really cool, like kind of animation fights and fight styles to it. Again, it's an Austin-based studio that did that work as well. So it's always cool to see stuff in your hometown or within the state. I was like, yeah, cool. Texas is doing something good. That's not terrible news that's coming out of Texas at the time. But I highly recommend Castlevania if you can. And then, shoot, since you do follow artists, do you follow Eddie Nunez yourself on Instagram?
The name sounds really familiar. I wouldn't doubt if I've seen his work. But off the top of my head, I'm not sure. But I will.
Yeah, he's really good. And then someone that I randomly found is Aaron Blasey. He does a lot of stuff on Twitch, but he was the director of Brother Bear, and like he worked for Walt Disney. He did some animation work for Nala in The Lion King, and then some stuff for Mulan. But he mainly does like just drawing videos on YouTube and Twitch now, and he will just draw stuff. Like, I love his art so much. I actually bought his book. He has a recent art book, and it's all just he does like wildlife portraits and stuff like that. So he's really cool.
One of my favorite things to do is draw wildlife. That's awesome.
Dude, this guy is like, I mean, he worked for Disney, like Disney Animation, so he knows how to draw already. But the stuff he throws out there, oh man, I cannot believe that this is pen and paper or this is digital or he's doing this with charcoal. Like, the work that he does is fantastic. He has a YouTube channel, and he usually posts his drawings on there, and they're about an hour and a half plus sometimes, and it's just him drawing, talking to his chat.
Oh, cool. Oh man, hoping to be there one day. Hoping to be one day.
Yeah, I'm hoping you can be there one day too. I'll be your manager. It's like, hey, this guy's cool. But
and as soon as Jared gets back, we'll include him on this too.
When he gets back from the multiverse, fighting off whatever demons he's fighting off or whatever monster he has to try and tame this week, he'll be back eventually. But yeah, this was kind of just a winged episode. I mean, we talked for over an hour. It didn't feel like it was over an hour, so it's always a good thing. But yeah, man, it was. I'm glad to start pumping these out again. Hopefully, our schedules all line up a little bit more, and to where the three of us can, be the normal crew. But I think this is a pretty cool, solid episode. Don't think we really covered or talked about anything that I didn't want to talk about within the episode itself.
Right on.
Full disclosure, I'm not an animator. I have no real knowledge of what the animation stuff kind of comes down to, but yeah, I thought this was really cool. I really love the medium itself, and that'll just be cool to talk that with my best bud here, Mr. Jonathan Ryan Gonzalez.
Thank you, sir.
Alrighty, y'all. Well, again, appreciate anyone who stuck around for this long towards the ramblings of JCubed, and hope you all have a fantastic day, night, whenever you're watching this, and we'll see you on the next one. Feel free to like, share, subscribe, do what you want. We can't tell you what or not to do. We're all adults here, so yeah.
Be happy in what you're doing,
Yeah,
whatever it
just
may be.
be happy with what you do in life, and we'll see you for the next one. Bye.
Sounds good. See y'all later.